amazing music, man. And I went to a club once, and he was there, and we got talking, and I was thinking, fantastic, talking to Jerry, and he said, tell me, Leo, he said, who would you like to bump into one day? Who was your hero? And he kind of knew, because he knew some friends of mine, and I said, Bob Dylan. And we were halfway up the stairs. It was Dire Straits' first concert in L.A.
Wow.
And I wanted to see this band because I really loved what they were doing. You know, the Sultans of Swing, remember that record? And that was just out. And I was thinking, God, what a record. And there was a guy on the stairs just as I started talking to Jerry. And I said, I bumped into him as I walked up, and I said, I'm so sorry. And he said, no, it's fine, man, don't worry. And I didn't really take a look at his face. And Jerry just turned around afterwards and said, well, you just did. That guy on the top of the stairs, that was Bob Dylan.
That's great.
You know, like one inch from fame. There you go.
I mean, Leo, have you any unfulfilled ambitions? Anything you wish you'd done or you'd love to do, anything like that?
Well, in a way, I really did want to act, and I'm worried that I'm a bit too old for it now. Okay, I've kept my youth in a lot of ways. I've kept my youthful attitude, and my body's pretty good for my age, but I don't know if it's a little bit too late to kind of, you know, learn how to act, because to do it well, you need to kind of really study. And the other thing is I've just not got a very good memory for lines any longer, so I don't know if I've passed that ambition, but it was one thing I've always wanted to do, and for some reason never had the time to dedicate to it.
That's quite a nice ambition. That's quite it's quite a nice one, that.
I think when you stand on stage, you know, I mean, you understand what stand-up comedians go through, and you understand very much what actors go through, because you're actually kind of creating something within a space. You've got to hold people's attention. Yeah. I do tend to kind of get into the point where I tell stories on stage about the songs as well, because, you know, everything does have stories. And I kind of enjoy talking. I love doing radio and, you know, doing voice things. And I've read a few plays before, so I know that basically inside me I can act and I can do it. I can express things and speak very well. So I'd love to have the opportunity, you know, one day to be in a movie. It would be fantastic.
Bit part in Neighbours.
Sorry?
A bit part in Neighbours.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
I'm joking.
About soap opera,
so,
really. Although there are some good ones.
There are some crackers.
Wouldn't have minded a part in Breaking Bad.
No, that would have been good, wouldn't it?
That would have been good, yeah. I mean, look, isn't it ironic? Now the television programmes, you know, there's a great one I've just watched called Sense8. Some of these TV programmes are better than the movies.
They are indeed.
We're all watching them, you know.
The production values are superb nowadays, aren't they?
It's incredible, you know. If you see this one, Sense8.
I've not seen that one. I don't know if we've got that over here yet, but we'll have a look.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. You'll get it.
Is it? Oh, yeah. Another, yeah. And
Soundtracks at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays plays film music.
Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
You're good, kid. But as long as I'm around, you're second best. You might as well learn to live with it.
You're listening to the Styx Radio Show here on Seclo Sounds. And let's rejoin Leo Sayer and his home in Sydney, Australia. You say it's been the highlight of the career so far?
Well, lots of them, really. I think that the very thing of kind of being accepted and make it in America, when I did in the early days, that was an incredible achievement. And it was a great feeling, you know, when I got my first number one in America with You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. I mean, I was on the top of the world. It's like you climbed Everest. And I always think that's one of the greatest highlights, you know, in a way of success. You know, then there are the personal highlights, like, you know, the first time writing a song for Roger Daltrey and then hearing them play it on the radio and kind of thinking, shit, that's my song, you know, it's a marvellous feeling. Then also, you know, just being in recording rooms with amazing musicians, you know, with I was playing a gig once and the guitarist Larry Carlton was in the band, and he just said, look, you know, we've had so much fun with you today, Leo. Come and play on my gig tonight at this club. And he said, I might have a surprise for you. So I'm standing on stage with Larry Carlton, who's a very famous guitarist and incredible band, and I'm enjoying singing, and there's a great reaction from the crowd. All of a sudden there's a tap on the shoulder, and a guy says, well, I'm your guitarist for the night. And it's B.B. King.
Wow.
And, you know, I mean, B.B. King was one of my greatest heroes, and I'm, it, you know. And there we are up on stage, and he's just loving it, and I'm singing away, and he's singing away, and my God, you see, sometimes those opportunities come along, and they're real surprises. They're moments that you just crash into. They're unplanned. I always think that those are the highlights that are the best, you know, the surprises.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favourite song, either one you've done or one from somebody else?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's very difficult to choose because, I mean, you know, here's a guy who has kind of 99,000 songs on his iTunes, you know, so I like to listen to so much, and I love jazz and classical as much as songs, but I guess of mine, really, probably the main one for me is Giving It All Away, the song for Daltrey, and I think that that's something that also I can sing. Well, I sing all the songs today, but I mean, that one really means something to me when I sing, you know, so that's kind of, yeah.
So you'll be singing that on the tour, will you, that song?
I will be, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
But so that's kind of important. I think from anybody else, well, you know, not sure really. Knocking on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not a shabby song, is it?
Simple.
Yeah. Away from the music business, what do you do to sort of relax hobby-wise and things like that?
Oh, I'm a big reader of books. You'll be surprised to find I'm quite intellectual. I've got quite an IQ, so I kind of enjoy. I'm an inquisitive bugger, so you know, basically, I'm always looking things up and wanting to learn about more things. So, and I find as time has gone on, I'm even more inquisitive. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of time is spent, you know, sort of. I wonder what this book's like, and trying that, and so I've now got vast libraries, and I'm reading all the time. When you get to my age, you're not doing too much physical stuff other than the gigs. So I'm not out cycling or running very much or keeping fit. I'll do some walking. The countryside here is beautiful, so that's a lovely thing to do. I'm finding that as time goes on, I'm kind of centralising my passions into less outside activities and more kind of more things like, you know, really dealing with my own legacy. I'd like to kind of, you know, look back on records and try and rework them and sort of. I'm the biggest knowledge of Leo Sayer. I suppose I should be writing a book by now.
Yeah, autobiography. Why not?
Collecting so much stuff, you know, recently, memorabilia and old articles and sort of stuff. So I'm building this kind of huge library at the moment, which is interesting. You know,
I think
that's probably what it sounds. It sounds very self-centered, but
it sounds good.
I figure that I know enough about myself now that I might as well be doing that.
Well, so we await the autobiography, do we?
One of these days, yeah.
That would be great.
Soon. It'll be interesting. And I don't want to ghostwrite. I want to do it all myself.
I think that's the way to do it. I really do think.
It's a one-man band. It's crazy, isn't it?
One-man band. That's a big, great name for a song, wouldn't it?
It would be.
So basically you read a lot of non-fiction rather than fiction?
Both, actually.
Okay.
Both, actually. Yeah. I'm kind of trying to study some architecture at the moment. I don't ask me why, but I'm kind of interesting. I see all these modern buildings and I wonder how they build them, and now it's kind of interesting.
That's quite good. All right, you're in charge of the world for the day. What would you be the first sort of law or thing you would do?
Shoot all the politicians.
Say it as it.
Bloody lot of them.
I think it's a cracking idea.
We should never vote for anybody who's got more money than us.
That's true. Well, you're probably richer than me, but that's never mind.
I am a rebel, aren't I? I mean, I'd let out Julian Assange, and he could be Prime Minister of Australia. He'd do a good job. I'm not so sure I'd go as far as Russell Brand as the Prime Minister of England. But
please not, please. We've been good.
Good people.
We don't deserve Russell Brand. Also,
no, you're unfortunate.
No, we don't deserve him.
I think in his heart he's a good man. I think it's just the way he talks.
Yeah, I think
the accent.
I think he's
not working.
Yeah, I think he doesn't put his brain into gear before he opens his mouth.
No, he's a chatterbox, isn't he?
I think he is a bit.
I know the feeling. But look, if I was in charge of the world, I think that seriously, the first thing that I'd do is actually make nature and climate change and climate awareness and as the absolute priority. We cater for humans very well, but we've got to look after this planet.
Okay, and also, if you were going to put something in Room 101, what would you put in there?
Room 101 is where you're supposed to put all the thing that you
that really hacks you off, yeah.
Undesire.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I put my appearance on Big Brother. How about that?
Okay, that was
to eradicate that.
That was the low point of your career, was it?
Not a great career move.
Well, it got you noticed, didn't it?
Well, I suppose so, but I mean, I decided to be a right proper bastard in there because I hated the show so much, and I tried to destroy it. I think that was a bit of a lofty aim. And do you know, at one time I had just about everybody, if I wore a certain pair of socks in the morning, we were all going to walk out. But the others chickened out, and of course, then you realise that, yeah, it's all a bit of a setup, really.
Yeah, I must admit, it's not my favourite programme. In fact, I think I've watched it for about half an hour ever.
Well, when you're in there...
And it annoys me.
Well, when you're in there, it's very strange. I mean, people really, in extreme situations, a bit like, a bunch of hostages, say, you think of the hostages held in a restaurant or something like that, by some evil cretin or terrorist or whatever. You get this tribal thing that comes in, and people really gang up on each other and do weird things. And I never ever thought that would happen. I thought we'd all be very decent and human, but suddenly everybody's arguing over the food, and then they sort of, you try and help somebody in there, and they kind of say, she's a pretty girl, so she said, he's sexually abusing me. So it's amazing how people's real sides come out. And I suppose for me, I really came out as the absolute rebel. I mean, I was swearing like a trooper and doing rude signs and everything. So I don't like the person that I was anyway in there. I'm not proud of it.
To me, it's like...
I think that's definitely for Room 101.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, to me, it comes over as an enclosed Lord of the Flies.
You got it.
That's the way it comes over to me.
Thing.
And I'll be honest with you, I always think I'm sitting in my lounge at home with some friends, and who else would be interested in that conversation except for the 4 people or 6 people that are in that room? And
absolutely.
So that's why I never watch it.
The other thing that is amazing about it, though, looking back, not to kind of dwell on it too much, but I do admire the people that came out of it with dignity, and in that one that I was with, that was the one where that unfortunate girl who died,
Jade Goody.
Jade Goody, yeah. And I wouldn't say that she came out of it with all shining colours, but she held her own in a way. But I was so impressed with, like, Jermaine Jackson, who just remained stoic through the whole thing, and Shilpa Shetty, who won, with all the kind of racist taunts that went against her. She just held her head up and got through it, and deserved to win in the end.
One more question.
Anybody who can keep their dignity in those situations, I admire a lot.
That's good. One more question. Your favourite food? What do you like to eat?
Oh, well, I've got a bunch of Italians here at the moment. I've got an Italian partner, Donatella, and we've got some other visitors with us, and I think they're making a huge pasta at the moment.
You lucky man.
I'm looking forward to that.
You're making me feel...
I'm very much an Italian food man.
The Italian food man. Well, let's go...
Because John has been managing me and been living with me, I guess, for 29 years now, and cooks all my food, and I'm very spoiled. She comes from Tuscany as well, and we go there with her parents, and we just eat like kings. I just have to watch the stomach, that's the only thing.
Mine's gone. My stomach's getting big about the hour, I'll tell you at the moment. It's not good. So, are you coming over to England? Let's talk about the tour and quickly the record again. The tour...
The food thing as well. It's cold here now, so you need to eat more.
Is it? I don't know worry you, but it's lovely.
It's freezing at the moment.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful in England. It's been 33 degrees.
I know, what a contrast, eh?
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? And everybody gets this concept that Australia is that sunny place that they see on...
No, not necessarily. Well, where I live, it's 600 metres up. I mean, I'm about an hour and a half south of Sydney, in a beautiful little town, a village rather, called Berrima. There's only 400 people who live here.
Wow.
And but we're 600 metres above sea level, and that's quite a bit when you think. That's thousands of feet, So, it gets cold.
Well, wrap up. Now, let's talk about the tour. You're coming over to Britain in September. The tour starts Wednesday, the 9th of September in Birmingham and finishes on the 11th of October in Warrington. But you're coming locally to us on Sunday, the 27th of September. You're doing the Stables in Milton Keynes, which is a lovely...
I know, and apparently the gig is almost sold out.
Well, I was told it was sold out, but the standing tickets only. And you've got a great guy supporting you, a guy called Michael Armstrong.
That's right. Well, Michael is also doing a lot of my radio promotion.
I know he is.
And